Welcome. This is From Beyond The Paign, an Illinois basketball podcast. I'm Cody. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Cody_CHGO. Illinois avoids what was probably the most annoying, a loss in what was probably the most annoying game of the year. I didn't think anything could top Maryland, but boy, did the guys make it even more stressful and annoying. But in this case, Illinois wins. So, I can't be too upset. They pulled out a win. It was in a disgusting game. Brad Underwood said it in postgame. What did he say? He said, went from an eye-pleasing loss the other day to an ugly win today. Proud of our guys because you have to win those. That was like the first thing he said when he sat down at the podium at the State Farm Center this afternoon. Illinois wins 70-62. Before I get too much deeper into this, hit that like button on YouTube. Subscribe if you're new here. I appreciate you all for hanging out. Tell a friend if you have been here before. Would love to know your thoughts on this game. It obviously was not fun to watch, so I'm sure there's some negative thoughts. I'd love to hear them because I got plenty of them, right? So I'm interested to hear what you got to say. So let me know just right here in the YouTube chat or on Twitter or Facebook. But Illinois again wins 70-62. They improved to 15-5, and they maintain pace in the Big Ten standings now at 6-3. I don't even know where to start, guys. It was a day that I thought perhaps, Illinois continues the play they had at Northwestern, but makes layups. Keyword, makes layups, right? And they went easy. That did not happen. Part of me wants to be really disappointed. Part of me just wants to be happy that they won. Right? Like that's basically where I'm at. I'm like half and half. I'm either a part of me is kind of worried, part of me is like, well, they won. It's a rivalry game. It's going to be tough to win those no matter what. But Indiana's not good, man. Indiana's not good. They won by 8, but it was significantly closer than this. If you didn't see the game at all, it was significantly closer than an 8-point game. They went too deep off the bench. Indiana went too deep off the bench. They didn't make one three-pointer. None. 0 of 9 from 3. Renault and Mbako basically were the catalyst. Xavier Johnson had a decent game. Trey Galloway, sure. They basically carried the Hoosiers this entire game. Renault fouled out with 3 minutes to go in the game. And from that moment on, I was like, if they find a way to lose this game with him out, then I'm just going to scream and yell this entire show. Thankfully, that did not happen. But he had a hell of a game. 21 points, 7 rebounds. He was 8 of 12 from the field. He went 5 of 9 from the free throw line. Missed free throws were a key part of this game. Illinois pissed me off to no ends when it came to missed free throws. If you watch a live watch along, you would know that, right? But Indiana also missed free throws. They went 12 of 22 from the free throw line. And this is why Indiana is not good. They did so many things wrong in this game, and for them to still be in it shows just how bad Illinois played in this game, and that's what gives me some worry. Let's get to the chat. P. Spurgeon, Cubs fan, cold, but DGL sparked a little run to close out the game. Yeah, he hit that big 3 I don't know how many minutes he technically played. I'm going to refresh my ESPN browser here. Maybe it'll tell me. He just played 3 minutes, but he did spark some offense because the early second half, this team still could not make a shot. But he hit a big three that kind of started to build the momentum for Illinois, right? Indiana, the same person. Indiana found a way to suck harder. 37% shooting for the Illini was abysmal. Yeah, Illinois shot 37% from the field and shot 17 of 26 from the free throw line. Against mostly any other team, you're gonna lose. If you shoot 17 for 26 from a free throw line and shoot 37% from the field, you're more than likely gonna lose the game, man. Illinois got incredibly lucky today. I don't know how else to put it. And I don't want to be some just pissed off fan because they didn't win a certain way. At the end of the day, they won the game. You know what? They deserve a lot of credit. I thought some good things that Brad Underwood did today. The fact that he went to a zone defense late in the first half when they were struggling on defense. I wish he would have gone back to it in the second half. Didn't do it. But it did help get them going offensively in the first half, because they were terrible first 10 to 12 minutes of the game offensively. They couldn't make shit. Thought they got good shots, but they just couldn't make anything. But yeah, I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. They definitely they just did not make shots. They missed so many shots in the paint. Again, it's the second game in a row where they just can't finish. I thought there was at least 5 or 6 big moments in the second half where they could have, really built some momentum and sent the game, multiple possessions along the way to where I'm not sitting here sweating it out with 3 minutes to go. So, Caitlin says, is this indicative of a deeper shooting problem right now? I attributed bad shooting at Northwestern to the crowd, but this one was at home with a friendly crowd. I still think a lot of this has to do with them getting Terrence Shannon Jr. reacclimated. After the Rutgers game, I said that I'd give them 5 games to get this stuff figured out. I mean, TSJ sat but he ended up playing 25 minutes. So he sat a large portion of the second half. I think that he's trying to do too much right now. That's what it feels like. He wasn't very aggressive, and that was the one thing today that I was like, well, that's not normal. He didn't have the jump shot going. 0-4 from 3, 4 of 10. Or no, I'm looking at the wrong guy here. 0-4 from 3, 2 of 10 from the field. He finishes with 12 points, and a large part of them came out at the end of the game hitting free throws. I mean, I'll give him credit there. He did hit some clutch free throws when the game was close. So, yeah, I mean, the game would have easily they would have easily won this game if they made layups, hit a few more threes, and hit their free throws. That's honestly, in my opinion. Now, defensively, yeah, they needed to be better. I thought they locked down defensively towards the end of the game. For a large part of the game, Indiana shot 50% from the field. They end up shooting 46. But you just look at the box score, and it makes you want to scratch your head and wonder what the hell happened. Illinois had 62 shot attempts. Indiana had 54. I mean, Illinois got up more shot attempts, and this game was close. I don't get it. I don't get it. Jeff in the chat. Watching from Ohio, missing them layups and free throws is horrible. I mean, yeah, it makes me want to pull my hair out, bro. It's at the end of the day, I don't know how you can blame coaching for that. You can't blame coaching. Just make your layups, man. Free throws, they're free. They call them free for a reason. You just got to make them. And Coleman Hawkins missed some. He's an 80% free throw shooter. Quincy Guerrier, who had his worst game of the season, he missed 4 of them. And when I say he had the worst game of the season, he was playing so bad that Brad Underwood basically didn't even play him in the second half. And I didn't blame him. He did not play well today. Luke Goody was also playing well. So it kind of gave Brad Underwood the luxury, I guess you could say, to be able to feel confident with Goody with the way that he was playing. He kind of struggled early, missed his first couple shots, but ends up going 3 of 8 from the field, 11 points, or 3 of 8 from 3, 4 of 9 overall, but 11 points, 3 rebounds. I thought he played decent defense. Anytime they would go to Renault in the post on the side that he was on, I felt like he played as well as help defense he possibly could. I just think Renault had a really good game. But again, 0 of 9 from 3 for Indiana. I just feel like Illinois should have won this game by 20 plus points. And I think a large part of it is that they're just not getting they're still getting Terrence Shannon Jr. Figured out. Again, you got to remember when he was out, when he was suspended, he was not practicing with the team. He wasn't like, meaning he wasn't playing. Like he was just working out and doing things with assistant coaches, I'm pretty sure. So I think it's just going to take some time. I'm giving him 5 games. This is the 3rd game. So you got 2 more games here to figure it out and get him reacclimated and get him in a good rhythm. I think he needs to start going to the basket. If he's going to be aggressive early, which I would like to see him do that, he needs to do whatever it takes to get to the basket. Maybe they should run some offensive sets for him because they don't do it a lot. If you watch them when they're not in transition, he's just running. It's like doing cardio, run into the corner 3 and, coming up, taking a pass, dribble, pass. Like it's not plays designed for him, right? So maybe that's a way they can get him involved. I know that, again, before the suspension, they weren't doing that a lot at all. Didn't really need to. He was doing so much in transition because he's so fast and so athletic. But if they want to get him going, I feel like going to him early might benefit him. Adam McHugh in the chat. I think Illini should bring Shannon off the bench for at least the next couple games until he gets his legs back. Offensive flow is better without him right now. Yeah, I did think that they played better without him on the floor. I will give him credit for hitting those free throws. He had a couple big rebounds at the end of the game that he secured that led to him shooting free throws. And Brad Underwood kind of talked about that in postgame, but overall, yeah, he wasn't very good today. And I, last night when I did the preview show, I predicted that he probably that I thought he would be the leading scorer today, and I obviously was wrong. Not by much though. He had 12 points. Marcus Damask finishes with 16. So, I just think that this was a good, if you want to spin it to something good, like, again, I'm not sugarcoating it, but if you want to spin it to like the good news is like, it was just a good team win. DGL comes in, hits a big 3. Dane Danger, I thought, even though he only played 5 minutes, of course, and they were in the first half, I thought he made his presence known. They went to him in the post for once. It was nice. He missed the shot, but just seeing them go to him in the post was like what I wanted to see. He had I think he ended up scoring 1 basket, and I believe it was on a pick and roll with Damask. Damask had a great pass to him, pump fake, 2 guys for Indiana go up, and he goes up and throws it down as they come down. Moretti came in for 2 minutes and basically did cardio. Obviously, Justin Harmon and Luke Goody came in and were the bulk of the bench. Harmon plays 29 minutes. Goody played 30. Harmon, he had a big shot at the end of the game to help them, secure the win, right? And it was a almost same shot that he took at Northwestern that was like 30 some seconds left against Northwestern. This was like in the final minute. Harmon hit like a similar shot. He was in the corner. The ball got passed to him. Pump fake, drive, like floater in the lane. Almost the exact same shot. And, he hit it. And, he deserves a lot of credit. I thought he had a little bit of a better game today, despite the fact that he only went 2 of 9. I thought he impacted the game a little bit more defensively. I think Brad Underwood said in postgame he was plus 24 in the plus minus range. So there was a reason he was out there, I think. So he hit a big three in the first half when Illinois couldn't make shit. And it was during that portion of the game where they were playing that zone defense. So not a great game from Harmon, but a better game compared to against Northwestern. So there's not really anyone on the team today that had a great game. I think Marcus Damask, I guess, is the one that you would say. He only turned it over twice. Of course, the 2 turnovers really just made me want to pull my hair out. One of them was he was doing booty ball, backing down someone, tried to pass it out to Harmon, ends up turning it over. And then it happened again where he had the ball, final possession of the first half, and he turned it over. That led to an Xavier Johnson layup. That almost led to an all-out brawl, but I don't think it actually was. It's just Coleman Hawkins overreacting. I'll let you all think about that, however you want to think about that. I didn't really care. But it did get 2 technical foul shots, which I honestly, and again, this benefited Illinois. I really was kind of surprised that they got those 2 technical foul shots. And what I mean by surprise is like I've seen worse, but I've also, I just thought it was kind of soft from the refs. It benefited my team, so I don't care. But I just didn't think that was. I thought that was just a play on, tempers flaring, whatever. I didn't think there was worthy of 2 technical foul shots. All it was based off of was Xavier Johnson getting the ball after it went through the hoop and then basically tapping it to Coleman Hawkins, who wasn't paying attention. And then it leads to some, guys chirping at each other. I mean, if we're going to give technical foul shots because of that, if it's going to benefit my team every time, fine. But I know if I was on the Indiana side of this, I would have been pissed. So is what it is. I'm sure the basketball gods will come back to haunt us with that one down the road. Jeff in the chat says possibly one positive is these midseason Big Ten games are all a struggle. Even our best teams have struggled during this stretch. Yeah. I mean, listen, I think I said this on last night's show. Indiana had like a whole week to prepare for this game. And if Ware would have played for IU today, thank God he didn't, but that game might have been Illinois might have got upset today if Ware played, and he didn't. That guy averages like almost 15 points per game. I think a large part of why Indiana lost this game is they didn't make a 3. They weren't deep off the bench. Then they scored 2 points off the bench total. And they missed free throws. Those are the 3 reasons I think they lost this game. So, anyway, Damask fit 16 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. He was all over the place today. 39 minutes, led the team in minutes, scoring, rebounds. He did it all. It's unbelievable. This guy is a transfer from SIU in some aspects. I can't say much more about the guy. Like, he's played so much better than I ever expected. I thought he'd be a really good role player. But he is, since the Shannon suspension has taken his game to another level, and since he's been back, it's not like it's really stopped him. So I don't know where this team would be without him, to be honest with you. Hawkins struggled shooting the ball today, 4 of 12, 7 rebounds, 11 points, 2 blocks, 2 steals, continues to impact the game defensively. Now, Renaud, he is bigger than Coleman Hawkins, and he scored a bulk of his points against Coleman Hawkins, right? There has to be a point, I think, where Brad Underwood has to realize that they need to bring a double team earlier in the game. That way he doesn't get too comfortable. I thought he made some tough shots, but he also got some easy ones. And they gotta find a way to stop that sooner, because Indiana dominated this game in the paint. That's why they were in the game. Like, they don't make a 3, but they dominate points in the paint. 46-30. That just can't happen. I am convinced they lose this game if it's against any other team that's I feel it definitely against Wisconsin, Purdue. They probably lose this game if they're playing Michigan State. They probably lose this game if they play Nebraska. Like, in some aspects, just making shots is a huge factor, but they also gave away opportunities, missed free throws, all these things that they can control. And when they were playing well in December before Shannon got hurt, or not got hurt, got suspended, I thought they were taking advantage of every possible scenario they were in, whether it was in transition, whether it was in the half court offense. I thought they were just clicking on all cylinders in December. Even after Shannon got suspended, they found a way to have success offensively without him, right? I mean, you don't beat Northwestern by 30 for no reason. I'm choosing to believe that right now there's just this whole process of getting Terrence Shannon Jr. reacclimated with this team. That's where I'm at. If we're still doing this at mid to late February, I'm going to be concerned. But right now, it's just 3 games, and you've won 2 of the 3. Okay? So when I'm talking about those games in December, they beat up on Rutgers. They beat FAU. Tough game against Tennessee. They hung around for 30 of the 40 minutes. They dominated Colgate. They dominated Mizzou, and they dominated FDU. All right. And then you go into January. Again, this is now after, for sure, after Terrence Shannon Jr. was out. You dominated Northwestern without him. You only lost by 5 to Purdue. You had a tough defensive game against Michigan State where shots didn't fall, but I felt like it was just it felt like another game against Michigan State where it just comes down to who makes the big shot late. Worst game of the year against Maryland at home, you lost by 9. You went on the road, beat Michigan by double digits. You beat Rutgers at home in Shannon's return. Tough game against Northwestern. If you make layups, you probably don't even have to go to overtime. You missed 20 layups, 20 freebies at the rim. And then today, more issues of missing layups. So I just think they need to clean it up on some of the things that they can control, man. Like, I don't know how you can coach better to make guys make layups. Like, I tweeted it sarcastically. It's like suicides for every missed layup and missed free throw. That's to me, if you make 50% of them, you probably win this game a lot easier, and it's a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, right? So I'm not getting too far ahead with, being worried about this team yet. They just need to be more into it offensively, everyone. I will say this, I do think Terrence is holding the ball too long. Anytime he's had the ball at the top of the key, sometimes he doesn't know it looks like he just doesn't know what to do, whether it's dribble drive or just pass it or shoot it. I won't sit here and lie. Yeah, today was a frustrating game for him as a fan watching. Like it is 2023. Terrence has just been very tentative, not the leader he was prior to the suspension. The fast break was really non-existent today. Terrence needs to spearhead this. Yeah. Again, I think he's just working himself back. We'll see where he's at after, these next couple games. They got Ohio State on Tuesday. All right. So you get practice tomorrow, Monday, whatever. You go to Ohio State on the road. He's going to deal with another tough environment. We'll see how he responds. He knows he hasn't played well. I'm sure he's trying his best to go out there and play as best as he can. He's too good of a player. You're not a almost basically All-American and then just disappear. Like, the guy was going to go to the NBA after this season either way. Whether he could have gone to the NBA after last season. He chose to come back. So, they got Ohio State, Nebraska, Michigan State again, Michigan again, and Maryland coming up, right? So, like I said, they played 3 games with him in his return. So if we're still seeing the same type of stuff after Michigan State on February 10th, then I'll get a little worried. But I'm willing to ride it out a little bit longer. What's up, Maurice? He says, we got the dub, bro. Absolutely. Listen, I'm not trying to be too negative or too frustrated. It's just the fact that you played a team that's not good, man. You played a team that's not good. And honestly, if a few things didn't go your way, we would have been sitting here talking about getting upset by Indiana. All right. So I'm just being real. It is what it is. But you're right, though. And at the same time, they did get the win. And sometimes you just have games like this where you have to grind it out. If you want me to compare it to anything other than Maryland, I guess I could compare it to Michigan State. I felt like Illinois should have lost to Michigan State the way they played that night, and they ended up winning. I think they played better offensively in that game, but it kind of reminds me of that game in some aspects based off it was definitely a grinded out, who gets the most stops, but because Indiana is just not good, in my opinion, I'm not going to be happy about this one. That's just what it is. So we're about 26 minutes in to this. We can go over some of what Brad Underwood said something about DGL, and I wish that I would have been able to write down what he said, but he was overall pretty pleased with DGL. And at the beginning of the show, someone in the chat asked or said something about DGL, and I read it. But I'm hoping, man. I'm hoping that this leads to more minutes for DGL. He kind of provided a spark that kind of helped them get going offensively there in that second half. I just think he's too good to not get any time, man. It's just the facts. And that's why I got Purdue fans coming into this YouTube chat because they got nothing better to do on a Saturday because they're bored in the state of Indiana, coming in here talking their talk, talking their trash, whatever. Even though it doesn't matter to them anymore. I don't even know why it matters to them. They're one of the top teams in the nation. I don't know. I don't know what we got to do to get more minutes for DGL. I'm not asking for 20 or 30. I'm asking for 10, maybe 7. Give me 6 or 7. That'd be great. I just think that he can be he can make an impact with this team, I think, in March. Maurice says, bring Terrence Shannon off the bench until he gets into rhythm. Yeah. Someone else said that in the chat too. I'm not against it. Who are we starting? Lou Goody? Bring him off the bench. Put Lou Goody back out there. I'm not against it. Goody's been playing well, right? He provides a 3-point threat. I'm not against it. If they decide to go that route, perhaps we'll see if there's some change. I just think that they need to get Terrence some opportunities in the half court offense. That's basically where it sits for me right now. And obviously, he wasn't very active in transition today, and because of that, that's why he didn't have a good game. So, all right, we're about 30 minutes in. Anyone else's thoughts? I would love to hear them before I get out of here. Here, I just read a quote from Brad Underwood on Terrence Shannon, or on the game. Well, no, this is on Terrence Shannon. The flow offensively, we've got to find. We're holding the ball too long. Mentions particularly Shannon holding the ball too long. But that late Shannon emotionally was in the right place. So, he also said, in a lot of ways, we got Terrence Shannon going at the end. I felt really good about the way he finished the game. Ran an ISO play for him to get fouled at the end of the game. Yeah, he was posted up at the top of one of the free throw line corners. And you could have argued that it could have been a charge. I think Robbie Hummel actually said that he thought it was a charge, but they gave him a blocking foul, shot free throws, made him, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like I felt like that was one of the only times that they actually tried to get Terrence Shannon something in the half court. And I think that they're just going to have to do that to kind of get him going, you know? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he just needs more cardio running up and down the court. I don't know, but that isn't what me trying to explain it from my perspective. It was just a very overall frustrating game watching this team play offense because they shouldn't have struggled like they did. And so they just need to get more efficient offensively. And I think that they will. There's too much talent. There's no way that Quincy Guerrier is going to have that bad of a game again. However, he could start making some free throws. That'd be nice. This team shot free throws really well in December and beginning of January too. These last handful of games though, not great. Not great. Today was probably the worst in a while, but I'm just, you go on the road and shoot free throws like that, you're gonna lose. And they go on the road against Ohio State next Tuesday. They better shoot better from the free throw line at the very least. You can get good shots and miss them all you want, but you just got to make free throws. When you get these opportunities to make free throws, you just got to make them, man. Like it's as simple as that. Maurice says you're doing a good job, bro. Keep it up. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for everyone who's tuning in here on a Saturday evening after a disgusting Illinois win. Y'all are the best. I've enjoyed doing this too. Okay. So I guess to close it out here, again, Illinois gets Ohio State on Tuesday at 6 o'clock. So Monday, probably do preview show here on my YouTube channel. So if you're new here, if you have a friend, tell them to subscribe. Hit subscribe on Spotify as well. I think the show might be on Apple. I'm still not sure. I'm still waiting to get a notification from them. But either those are the two ways for sure. I know you can watch or listen. But yeah, I know I did a lot of complaining after a win, so I apologize. It is you want me to spin it again. It's good teams find a way to win games, no matter what. No matter what, right? I was really young during the 04-05 season, right? Really young. I was a freshman in high school? And I'm sure that there were games before they got upset by Ohio State that ended their undefeated season. I'm sure there were games over that time where they were similar to this, where, they didn't play their best. They missed free throws, all these things. I'm sure there were. I'm not going to go back and look because I don't care at this point and not trying to prove that big of a point. The point I am trying to make is that good teams find a way to win games. No matter what, good teams try to find a way to win. Do I think that they got some calls that helped them find a way to win? Sure. Yes. At the same time, I think that, Indiana got some calls too. So I know there are a lot of people in the live stream that were complaining about the refs. And it's just like, I could complain about the refs every single game, man. I really could. Sometimes they can be inconsistent. Sometimes they can, it makes it look like they're making calls for other teams or the other team on the other side of the court, but not on your side of the court. I hate how much refs can really impact a game, but if Illinois would have lost today, I sure as hell was not going to come on here and blame the refs. Not against this bad Indiana team. There's just no way I would have done that. So I feel like the refs against Northwestern were a little bit more. I think there was a little bit more reason for criticism against them. Today, not so much. Make your layups. Make your lob dunk attempts or whatever. Ty Rogers missed one. Marcus Damask missed one. Like, it makes me want to pull my hair out, bro. So I guess that's, again, good teams figure out a way to win games no matter what. You say that in any sport. You want me to do baseball since everyone knows me mostly for covering the Cubs. They had plenty of games in 2016 where they were playing against a bad team and they either lost or they didn't win by a margin that made sense because certain guys didn't perform on that certain day. Listen, you're going to have bad days, but at the end of the day, if your team is good, you're going to win more often than not. So I feel cautiously optimistic going into this game against Ohio State on Monday. That's where I currently sit. Would have been so much worse if they had lost this game. So I will take my biggest takeaway is that the final score ended in your favor. And now you really need to get your shit going. You need to get this offense figured out, Brad. You need to get your best player going, and you need to work on not getting killed on points in the paint against a team that can't shoot. All right. So that's how I'm closing it out today. Again, I appreciate the small handful of y'all hanging out today. This was a lot of fun. I love doing these post-game shows and the live watch-alongs and stuff. We get to ride the roller coaster together. So, again, I appreciate all the support. It means a lot. So, if you are new today, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button on your way out, subscribe on Spotify or wherever else you can find this podcast, which I'm pretty sure it's pretty much anywhere. But let me know if you can't find it somewhere. I'll try and help you out. But until Monday when we do the preview show for Ohio State, until then, IL.